Hey everyone, if you're looking to step up your filmmaking game and capture professional quality footage, the Sony Alpha FX3 might just be the camera you've been waiting for. This isn't one of those overhyped gadgets, it's a serious tool for creators who want cinema-level quality without the bulk of a traditional cinema camera. I've been testing it out for a few weeks, and today I'll show you what it can do and whether it's worth the investment. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the FX3 is built around a full-frame 4K sensor, and the dynamic range here is seriously impressive. We're talking over 15 stops, which means you can capture way more detail in both the shadows and highlights. I shot some test footage in a dimly lit room with bright windows in the background, and the FX3 handled it beautifully, no blown-out highlights or crushed shadows. That's the kind of flexibility you need when you're shooting in real-world conditions, not just a controlled studio. Plus, the high sensitivity means you can push the ISO higher without introducing too much noise, which is a game-changer for low-light shoots. One of the standout features is the S-Cinetone profile, which gives you that cinematic look straight out of the camera. It's inspired by Sony's Venice Cinema camera, and it really does deliver that warm, film-like color grading. I didn't have to spend hours in post trying to make the footage look cinematic. I just switched to S-Cinetone, and it was ready to go. That's a huge time saver if you're editing on tight deadlines or just want to streamline your workflow. Now, if you're into slow-motion shots, the FX3 can do up to 4K at 120 frames per second in 10-bit. That's not just for fun, it opens up a ton of creative possibilities. I used it to film some action shots, like water splashing or fast-moving subjects, and the detail was incredible. The 10-bit color depth also means smoother gradients and better color separation, which is especially important if you're grading your footage later. And the fact that you can do this in 4K is a big deal. Many cameras max out at 1080p for high frame rates. Another thing I love about the FX3 is its compact and cage-free design. It's way smaller than most cinema cameras, so it's much easier to carry around on shoots. But don't let the size fool you, it's packed with mounting points, including 20 on the body itself, so you can attach all the accessories you need without a bulky cage. The XLR top handle is a great addition if you're recording audio directly into the camera. It's got two XLR inputs with phantom power, so you can plug in professional mics without needing a separate audio recorder. That's a huge plus for run-and-gun shooting where you need to keep things lightweight. The camera also has an internal cooling fan, which might sound small, but it's a big deal for long recording sessions. I tested it by recording 4K 60p footage for over an hour straight, and there was no overheating or throttling. That's something you don't always get with mirrorless cameras, where overheating can be a real issue. The fan is quiet enough that it won't ruin your audio either, just something to be aware of if you're shooting in a quiet environment. Let's talk about autofocus for a second. The FX3 uses Sony's advanced autofocus system, which is fast and reliable. I tested it with moving subjects, like people walking or animals, and it tracked them smoothly without hunting. That's a huge time saver if you're shooting solo or need to keep your focus sharp without constantly adjusting it. The real-time tracking is also really accurate, which is great for documentary-style shooting where you can't always predict where your subject will move. Now, no camera is perfect, so let's talk about a couple of things that might not work for everyone. First, the menu system can be a bit overwhelming if you're new to Sony cameras. It's powerful, but it takes some getting used to, especially if you're coming from a different brand. I spent a little time customizing my settings to make it more intuitive, but it's something to keep in mind if you're not tech-savvy. Second, while the FX3 is compact for a cinema camera, it's still larger than a typical mirrorless camera like a Sony A7 series. If you're used to shooting with something ultra-lightweight, this might feel a bit bulky after a while. All in all, the Sony Alpha FX3 is a fantastic choice if you're serious about filmmaking and want cinema-quality footage in a more portable package. The dynamic range, cinematic profiles, high frame rates, and reliable autofocus make it a standout. The only real downsides are the menu system and the size compared to smaller mirrorless cameras. But if you're ready to invest in a tool that will grow with your skills, this camera is absolutely worth it. If you're curious and want to see more details, the link is below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.